You with the one and only boxing guru, aka Wilder Hater, for Under the Microscope. In this episode, we're going to focus in on the road to my dream matchup between Shakur Stevenson versus Albert the Prince Bell. Shakur was in the news last week talking about his short term fights that's coming up in the future. He said he's going to fight in January. You know, there's rumors that he might fight Abner Morris, but I don't think that's going to come to fruition. Abner is on the other side with PBC. Plus, at this point, that could be a tricky, dangerous fight for Shakur, with Shakur has so much at stake, you know, far as him being the number one ranked guy in the WBO and the number two guy in the WBC. So those are very tricky. It'll be a tricky fight, I meant, you know, for him to fight Abner Morris and lose out on the opportunity of gaining, you know, his second division title. So this plays a major role in my dream matchup coming to fruition between him and Albert Bell. Because with Shakur being ranked so high in both, you know, the road has to go through. The first road is Miguel Burchek versus Oscar Valdez, which is supposed to take place on December 12th. So that's very critical. So Shakur going to be sitting back calculating his next move, in my opinion, because he can evaluate how Miguel Burchek look against Oscar Valdez, because Miguel is the long reigning champ that can be a unified champ, a unified fight with Shakur later down the road. So Shakur should be watching out for that. If Oscar can pull the upset, you know, him and Shakur can go right at it, because Shakur knows styles makes fights, and Shakur looking for the easy fight to get the victory to become a two division champ, and then he can leave his friend Jamel Herring alone for the moment while Jamel take a chance and fight. Carl Frampton. So that's very critical in the road to my dream matchup, because Shakur can play both sides of the fence. He can straddle the fence and find out which one is easier for him, the best opponent, and he can look out for Jamel Herring. So that's where Albert Bell plays into the part, because Albert is ranked number 15th in the WBO or the WBC, and he's 14th in the WBC or the WBO. So he's ranked basically the same. So if it plays out with not Jamel, but Shakur Stevenson straddle the fence, he can pick and choose, and that can leave the door open for Albert to get a shot against one of the reigning titles. Because what's going to happen if Miguel Burchak beat Oscar Valdez? I don't believe Shakur would take that fight next, even though he's ranked second, because Oscar will fall out of the picture, because Oscar is ranked number one. So he gets the mandatory shot. So Shakur would then focus in on the winner of Carl Frampton versus Jamel Herring. And so that's where Miguel Burchett has to make a voluntary defense, you know, so they can lead up to the unification between, in my opinion, it'd be Shakur versus most likely Jamel Herring had trouble with Dennis Shafika, who was a shorter pressure fighter. So Carl Frampton is getting older. So Carl Frampton should be able to outwork Jamel still. And they want that easy big money fight for Shakur if he takes that route. So I'll be looking for it to be Shakur against Carl Frampton. But if I'm wrong, Jamel could come into play. But I think it's going to be Carl Frampton winning the title against Jamel Herring. So my point is, so that's where it leaves Albert being the number 14th and the 15th ranked guy. So he can be in the position where they got to make a voluntary defense somewhere, so they can build up the unification about later in the year and in 2021, because it looked like all the candidates are on schedule Um, Miguel Burchak versus Oscar Valdez, December 12th. Um, Shakur Stevenson said he's fighting in January um, against an opponent we don't know. And then Albert Bell, if I'm not mistaken, he should be fighting in December. I think he said something on his Facebook. Hopefully, December be a good month for him. But I'm figuring he should fight in December or January. All of them is on schedule. And then you have Jamel Herring versus Carl Frampton in January. So all of them are on pace that they can have like a super series at 130 because the 130 division is becoming hot now, especially with Lomachenko losing. And I don't believe he's going to fight anymore at 135. I don't think that he's going to get the rematch with Telefimo because I picked Lomo. I still believe that Lomo could whoop Telefimo because he showed it from round 7 when he actually started fighting. So I'm very suspect on that fight because I knew that Lomachenko could get in between the bigger punch of Telefimo because Telefimo, even though he's big and strong, everybody may like, but he throws one punch at a time. Even though he's got a quick punch, but as a professional fighter, you should be able to block it or time it when he pulls back because he throws one punch. He's not like a semi-automatic like Lomachenko is. He's like a one-shot guy. He shoot the shot. If it don't land the target, you can get in and outworking, and that's what Loma was doing effectively. He should have did that from 1 to 6. That's what I predicted. So he's gonna make the 130-pound division hot. Then you got Gary Russell, old man Gary, hollering about he's moving up to 130. So 130 is on fire right now. So I'm looking for Albert to sneak in the door with his height, his boxing IQ, to overshine some of these big guys if he's given the opportunity. So this is going to be intriguing starting in December. The road to my dream matchup with Miguel and Oscar. That's the first road. Once that comes out, then we'll know what Shakur Stevenson next move is, since he's the man in the driver division. So that's where Albert and everybody should be paying attention to what move is next. So you have to be ready. And I want Albert to be ready because his name could be pulled at any moment. So that's why it's very important to stay focused on my road to my dream matchup coming to fruition. This is the one and only boxing guru, aka Wilder Hater, here in San Antonio for the big fight. Over and out. Check with you the next time.